Scavenger SV4 is a cool little roguelike game in which you drive a modular space rover to ransack a highly irradiated planet for cool expensive alien loot which you can sell, provided you actually survive the many perils that await you. And in a game where your only way to know where you're going is sight, the interference from the radiation makes it quite a challenge to make out things, especially if they're at a distance. Now, this is how the game was intended to be played. So, if you played the game before, you must have wondered, what if you could see the world, clear as the day, and without any interference? Now, a good friend of mine, Walder, at DaGameTrain, has made a video about this topic. However, his findings leave something to be desired for. Mainly, if you zoom into the video feed, the interference layer hasn't gone completely. It's still there. Not to mention, what if we could get more colors into the game? Failing that, what if we could customize the color of our camera feed, not requiring us to settle for that deep red that just stares into your soul and wants to consume you? From my understanding, the cameras display a regular grayscale video signal, put some filters on it, including the interference filter, and displays it back to us. However, this doesn't explain why we see white, black, and gray in the final image. What the game does after it's finished with all the image processing is it compares each dot value with how intense it is. If it's above a certain lightness, it's claimed to be white, otherwise, it's claimed to be black. It's done again to achieve a shade of gray. So, how can we get rid of the static signal completely and also get it colored? Now, thankfully, I don't need to tread far off the beaten path. Walder was directed by the game's developer, Callus, as to which file deals with how the game renders the video feed. This code can be found in the Resources Shaders folder in a file called vidscreensimple.cg, which contains code in C for graphics, a very near neighbor to C. Disclaimer: while I do programming for a living, I am nowhere near an expert in C, let alone C for graphics. I just learned a lot during my work and know how to Google. And within this file, Callus' suggestion to multiply source color by phosphor scale definitely works. However, it's only capable to produce a red tinted output. As explained by Callus in this Steam forum post, the game uses all three RGB channels to render three different cameras: red for the regular camera, green for a thermal sight, and blue for the alien view. Now, this is fine if we're playing the game as intended, and each one of these is turned into a video signal, but what if we want to inject some color into this grayscale signal? This can be done quite trivially by just setting up the desired camera's color into all three channels, and then just multiplying them by a color you want. I picked yellow/amber. This is starting to look great, and if we wanted a super basic color signal, we could just stop there. However, that noise source is still there. Now, Walder's effort is commendable. However, that noise signal still remains on the screen. The noise uses 4 static pictures in rapid succession to give us an impression of a pixelated static. However, on top of that, it also scales it up and pans it by the time scale, and then combines it with the rest of code techniques mentioned before. So, how can we get rid of this noise? There is another file in the materials folder called cameras.material, which UV maps all the textures and applies the shaders found in the previous vidscreensimple.cg file. In it, we can find that the noise is mapped to one of the camera layers. By the way, the game runs 6 different views for all the gadgets numbered here, so just for experimentation purposes, let's get rid of the camera noise in the center view. Now, we can't just outright delete the reference to the texture unit itself, because the game will try to look for a specific number of them, fail, and crash. So, what happens if we comment out the reference to the noise texture itself? Guess what? It works perfectly. No more noise, just a clean video feed, almost as if we've landed down to the planet and no longer get the atmospheric radiation interference. All in all, This game's way of rendering the screen image fascinates me, especially since I do understand C. On one hand, I'm more than happy to get rid of the noise interference filter and be able to snipe enemies across the map. On another hand though, removing the noise makes the game too trivial, because you can easily spot anything, no matter the distance. This was a great research exercise for me, and I've also made the game more enjoyable as a result. Thank you very much for watching.